Okay, so I want to discuss why I'm no longer going to vote. And that is because the system is rigged, it's non functioning, and it's corrupt. Okay, so first of all, it's rigged because we saw how the DNC tried to block and sabotage Bernie Sanders. We saw how the Democratic Party tried to block or did block the Green Party. Okay, and now I'm starting to believe that the whole political system um, blocked Trump from being president. Now, I don't want Trump to be president, but that should have been done in an ethical, sort of consistent way. Like, I just feel like the fervor for Trump was too large for him not to be president, but he was just too politically inconvenient, so people blocked him from the presidency. So why would I vote if the system is rigged? Okay, so non-functioning. Okay, so our government basically doesn't function. Okay, look at something how much money we've gave Ukraine. We gave Ukraine, right? Most of it's like money laundering and that type of thing. But so we vote for people, okay, that are supposed to represent us, but our representatives seem so infectual. There are people who we voted in that were supposed to stand up to those types of things, but it still seems like a very small group of people just do whatever they want. Okay. Um so there's no point of voting. Our representatives don't represent us. Okay? So that's just a non-functioning system. And then it's not functioning in the sense of look at this whole gay marriage debacle. So we expend all this energy voting for something, and then it can just be sort of challenged on a whim. I mean, I know Republicans are just doing that to hide the fact that them and Democrats are just one party, right? They sort of lost that wedge issue where it made us where we have to choose a side with abortion. So now they like, you know, Democrats and Republicans agreed, like, what should we do? Like, we could make gay marriage an issue again, so we can still play good cop, bad cop. Sure. But still, it's like, that's still an issue because it's like, what's the point? Like, there's all these issues. We should be, it should be where it's like, it's fixed for a period of time. Like, you can't touch it for 10, 15, 20 years. Like this two party system doesn't work. How people we can invest all this energy and vote, and then that can just be changed on a whim, even with an executive order. What's the point? It's non-functioning. Okay, we don't need. It's like this sort of hyper vigilant, over analytical system. Like how there's thousands of political parties. Like I'm a green libertarian. It's like okay, we just need a sensible operating system. Period. That's it. No other name. A sensible operating system. Like, let's use computer language. Let's use technical language. Not a democracy, not Democrat, not Republican. A sensible operating system. Period. Because this is nonsense. It's nonsensical. It's not functioning. Okay. And then it's like, so we did all this voting, and what's the point when we still are having poisoned water? We still have crumbling infrastructure. Nothing's happening. It's all a front. It's all theater. Like we are just, free range captives in like a human factory farm, basically. Like, so there's no point of voting. And then it's just simply corrupt. whole system is corrupt. Look at civil forfeiture, okay, which is just legalized stealing. Like there's something. Why would you why would you vote? Why would you participate in a system where that's possible? It's simply legalized stealing. You legalize immoral, parasitic behavior. Why participate? That shouldn't be possible. That shouldn't happen. But then they're gonna be like, "Well, vote to change it." So you first of all, you want us to vote in a corrupt, rigged system. That makes no sense. It's rigged and corrupt. It's like offering a solution, like, drive to this city, but the car has been tampered with. The car is booby trapped, sabotaged. I'm not getting in the car. That makes no sense. We need a totally new vehicle. Okay. And then like civil forfeiture is like, okay, vote. We shouldn't have to vote to say that you can't steal money from us. And then it's like, so that's passed and is operating with all these current people are the people who are in power. So you guys let immoral things happen. So we have all these jobs, all these systems, all these levels of government. Who cares if you weaponize it to steal from your own citizens? And then you're saying, okay, we'll vote to change it. We shouldn't have to vote for it, but then if we vote for it to change it, then you just change it back. Okay, like we can't trust you in the first place. You're letting that fly. How did it take off? This system that you're telling us to support, let it take off, are observing it flying and not doing anything about it, and then it's our job. Like our it shouldn't be our job to not be robbed. That's the point of the government. You're like, you don't like being robbed by your own government? Do something about vote. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all. And then when you vote, you can just change it. You just change it again. Or you can do an executive order or you just do something. Like there's nothing, there's too much, there's too many loopholes, there's too many, and it's not a bug, it's a feature that's intentional because it's an intentionally corrupt system. It's so malleable when you want to do corrupt things. You would just change it back or you would just do something else. But how is it possible for you to do immoral things that should be illegal in the system? It makes no sense. Okay? So I'm not going to vote because it's pointless. And a lot of people who are sort of comfortable with their current positions know this on some level, which is like it's basically all theater, where you and then to backtrack a little bit, it's like look at marijuana. So that you're arresting people for a plant that no one has ever overdosed in some states and cities, but then there's in other states where people are making millions of dollars, but it's illegal at the federal level. So that goes back to non-functioning government. How is that possible? I mean, that goes back into corruption because in that that's a protection racket. If you're saying something, so you're arresting us for something, but not arresting them for them something because one, you want to keep it illegal, so you have bodies to run through the legal industry, but then you also like, but then there's you sort of beneficiaries of the system who promote this sort of Republican and Democrat thing as as a distraction and a diversion. You wanted to smoke, so you didn't want to be arrested for it. So you, you know, it's like in richer coastal cities that where it's more legal. You don't want to be arrested for it, and you like the profit from that as well. But if you're arresting people who are selling it or using it over here, but in but like if I tried to rob a weed dispensary, you would arrest me, but they're doing something illegal at the federal level. But you're not gonna arrest them. That's a protection racket. Our cops are mob agents. What? So no, I'm not going to vote because it's pointless. The system is rigged and corrupt, and then what you get is a non-functioning government anyways. Like color cast people, black cast people have been complaining about police brutality since Rodney King. It doesn't matter if Democrats are the lesser of two evils, right? They're one party, but you're ineffectual. Democrats are ineffectual. So what would be the point of voting for Democrats or Republicans? You're ineffectual. You guys cancel each other out on purpose. So nothing. Right? You play good cop bad cop, so nothing changes. But what's the point of warning when nothing changes? We people have complained and whining about that since forever. Nothing changed. It actually gotten worse. Okay, and then there's no point. You guys are aware of that. You know that. You like your current positions. You benefit from it. It's like these narcissists run our countries, right? We Our countries sold us to China, and it's like corporatocracy running our country, and you guys are like the flying monkeys. You hardcore Democrat and Republicans because your positions are comfortable. I bet you're concentrated in like government or education systems on the liberal side, and you're in like military and defense on the um, uh, conservative side. Like you're acting. It's theater. You pretend like you despise each other, but you're just a married couple. Like, have you seen those married couples who nearly kill each other and they still refuse to break up? That's the hardcore Democratic and Republican base. I don't care how much you guys say that you hate each other and despise each other. You're a unit. Just like that married couple is a unit, you're a unit who work together and coordinate together in this sort of circus theater. So nothing changes because you're comfortable with your change, even in a self-judgmental way, right? Like with that Texas blackout, you guys basically like like you guys parrot anything they tell you to say, even though if your life is in danger. So it's pretty um even things that would benefit you, you're against as long as you're sort of the current system doesn't change it because you've been from it. So no, I'm not voting. I support more, temporary anarchy. I don't think that necessarily has to be a system, but it can be helpful to, you know, resolve the current issue. Okay.